Hi guys, it's Amanda from the Social Studio. How you doing? Hope you've had a really good week or month whenever you checked in last. I'm Amanda, this is the Social Studio, and I'm here to talk about my July makes. So July has been a really busy month. I managed 5 makes, but I've not failed. I'm still going to continue. Those Sasha trousers, I still haven't quite completed. They are cut out. So yeah, I'm hoping to start those, so I'm going to roll those over into my August makes. But as I say, July has been super busy. It's also been super hot in the UK as well. So with my teaching schedule on a vacation and weekends in the studio, I just haven't had a chance to do those. So anyway, I've still got 5 super makes to show you, and I hope you get a little bit of inspiration from them as well. So first up, this is actually my last make that I did. What I'm wearing today is the colder pants from Cashmerette. So this is the Cashmerette colder pants. So they're a long palazzo pant. You can also have them as a crop version, or you can also have them in shorts, and they're just amazing. So part of my 5 makes are 2 of these. I actually made a navy blue pair, which I'll show you shortly, and I loved them so much that I just literally immediately cut another pair out. The navy blue ones are a polyester, so with it being really warm, I haven't been able to wear them so much, so that's why I made them in this real super swooshy rayon, which is an Atilier Jupe one, and yeah, they are just like secret pyjamas. So I love the flat front through the tummy area, and then it has an elasticated waist back. Now the pattern comes from a size 12 up to a size 32, which ranges, it's more the hip area that you need to think about. So the hip area ranges from a 42 up to a 63, which is an incredible sizing, which is fabulous. It also has pattern pieces whether you're an apple or a pear. I did the size 12 apple, just because my tum at the moment, I feel that I'm more an apple shape than I am a pear shape. So hip and waist ratio is pretty even, to be honest. I did lengthen the leg by 2 inches because I wanted them super long and swooshy. I think the inside leg measurement, does it say, yeah, the inside seam, so I lengthened them because they were a 28 3/4, so I'm a 32 inside leg. So I lengthened them 2 inches, which seems to be absolutely fine, even though I'm a 32 inside leg. It's just over the 30. And I gave myself a good 1.5 inch hem allowance. So I've got a little tip about hems that I'll show you in a little bit later. Alterations, I took about an inch wedge out of the elastication, so there wasn't quite as much around the bottom area. I also did a flat butt alteration, and I think I did take a piece out of the width of the back. When you get the pattern piece out, the back leg is uber big, and I was like, whoa, okay. So I wasn't a little bit too sure. As I say, I wanted to take some fullness out of the back, but they are still super swishy. And yeah, I really love them. So I'll show you the other pair, and then I'll show you some of the alterations that I did. So I'll be back in 2 ticks. So these are my second colder pants that I made, and this is the sagebrush top that I made purposely to go with it. So yeah, so we'll stick with the pants at the moment. So these were in our Barranquilla suiting that we've just had in, and it's been super popular. I'll put links in with everything that I've used below. We have lots more colours coming in, so keep an eye on those. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got a beautiful weight, but without being heavy. It doesn't really take much ironing as well. That's a big tick. Yeah, so they're really super. But as I say, when it was really hot, there was no way I was going to be able to wear them because of the polyester content within them. They've also got a viscose and they've got some elastane with them. But yeah, I was really, really pleased with the trousers. They feel so smart, yet with a casual air with them. There was something that I'll show you when I have a look at the pattern pieces, is that the pockets are quite unusual, that they actually have a facing within. Now this is sort of like a little bit reminiscent with manufacturing as well. I think that you could get away without putting the extra facing in, because it is yet another layer of fabric. So the facing actually sits on top of one of the pocket bags on the back, and then you have your extra pocket bag then on the front. So you're actually then building up those 3 layers, and those 3 layers then go into the waist as well. So it can make it quite bulky, but these have been absolutely fine, and it does give a nice sort of structure as well, just through the hips. So as I say, I'm really pleased that sort of like through the hip area, then although they're palazzo pants, they're not so voluminous around sort of this area. We always have a little bit of a joke about the height that I am and the height that Vicky is, even though I don't actually think she's particularly short. She does call herself the Hobbit and has got quite a following with equally shortish people. So I was doing a little bit of research as well about what suits people, because people are a little bit reticent about having very wide trousers. And I mean, these aren't majorly wide. I will give them a little bit of a measure and let you know how wide the actual bottom piece is. But because they're quite high-waisted, if you are slightly shorter, say sort of like a 5'4" and under, because they're high-waisted, immediately they are going to elongate your leg and make you look even longer. So that's a real good plus point. And yeah, they're just super swishy, and I really, really love them. Can you tell? So yeah, I think they'll be really fabulous in linens. I quite fancy a nice linen. We've got some great red, hot red, and I think they'd be quite a good statement piece. But again, I went with the navy. I nearly made them in a navy linen, if you saw my plans for July makes, but I wasn't too sure, but I really wanted to give this Barranquilla a little bit of a try. So yeah, I think with it being navy, it's such a classic colour and it's going to go with so much. So this is the colder pattern, the back leg piece. So you can see it is pretty wide to get that fullness. So the only alterations that I did to the pattern is that I wanted to take some of the fullness out of the actual back gathering area. So I slashed the pattern down. Okay, there's a join line because the patterns are pretty big, so that you have to take them together, and then also there was the lengthen and shorten line, so I've disconnected that at the moment. So yeah, I slashed that down to and used a pivot point at that point at the bottom, and I overlapped by approximately 1 inch at the top, so that would be taking 2 inches out of the gather through the back on there. While I had it slashed out and opened, I also then took a slash across from the lower crutch curve at the back through to that intersection, so I could then close up another ½ an inch, just over 1 centimetre, for a little, to reduce a little bit of fullness out for the low bottom adjustment through there, and then taped that all back together. So fairly basic standard alterations, but yeah, if you feel that you want that little bit of extra gather out of the back, that you're not needing it, then that's what you would do on there. You just need to be aware of sort of like your hip waist ratio. Mine's not too bad, so I'm not a pear shape, more apple, and therefore as long as you can wiggle comfortably over your hips, Yeah, and then it'll just take some of that bunching out at the back. I also wanted to show you the pocket piece when I was on about the facings. So you've got your pocket bag. So you would cut the 4 as you normally would with pockets, and then you have this pocket facing that you cut 2 in fabric and 2 in interfacing, and this then gets stitched on. You can either turn the instructions, do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then you trim off that curve, or you can overlock down that long edge. It'll be in-faced on the back, and so you put the wrong side to the right side. You then stitch down this edge, and then you use that as your back pocket, and so it gives some extra support on that front area. So you can't tell very well on my blue pair. So as I say, the facing is then on the right side. If I can turn it out, so it might not show with it being a dark colour. So yeah, so that is the facing that's on the back part of the pocket bag, okay, in there, just overlocked down. Now with my green rayon trousers, I wasn't really sure whether to put it in. As I say, I think you could get away with just doing your normal inseam pocket sections, but when I'm wearing it, it does have that extra little bit of support and oomph in that area. So what I decided to do on these was to actually pop it on the wrong side of the back pocket bag, so then when I do put my hand in, it's still all smooth. You haven't got that overlocking. It's just a row of stitching to hold that down, and then it's just on the inside on there, which I think it works just as well. It's just as neat. So yeah, so that's your pocket bag if you have a little bit of a scratch your head moment with those. So going on, this was I think my first make in July, and it's the second time I've made the sagebrush, and it's just such a lovely blouse. Again, it's something that you could quite dress up nicely. It's great for the office as well, but pair it with a pair of jeans or a pair of shorts when you're on holiday. Again, it's going to work dependent in the print of the fabric you do it in. This was a McElroy viscose, Chalice viscose. I think we have a little bit left, but we've got other colours as well. So again, I'll pop that link in. Now I made a size large in the sagebrush. So let me just grab. So the sagebrush is from the Friday Pattern Company. As I say, it's the second one that I've made, and I just love it. The first time I made it up, I was kind of like the yoke piece at the front. I was kind of like, that's never going to fit me, but go with it, guys. I also was a little bit worried about this frill area with having a fuller bust. I didn't want anything emphasising anymore, but because it's quite high and it goes just across the collarbone, really, a little bit lower, it's fine. It doesn't actually emphasise, I don't think, the fuller bust. It's nice and relaxed. It has a few little gathers through underneath that frill. Sleeves, again, dependent on the fabric you make it in. This is a really sort of soft drapey fabric, which my first one was as well. Obviously, if you have something with a little bit more structure, then the sleeves are going to be a little bit more pronounced. It has this really cute little tie at the back with a matching yoke through. The length is great. Now this is literally straight out of the packet. This is a size large, straight out of the packet, and it has this fabulous 4-inch double hemmed. So you turn it 2 inches up and another 2 inches up. So if you wanted it longer and not too bothered about having that hem, then that's fine, but equally you could lengthen it, not a problem. If you want a little bit more fullness or reduce some of the fullness, you can literally take that out on your centre fold. So all those kind of alterations are actually within the instructions, so that's brilliant. So it goes from an extra small up to a 7X. So again, these pattern companies are doing such a fantastic size range. It's brilliant. So that goes from a 32 bust right the way up to a 67. So as I say, that's a really great sizing. I did the large, so I think that works out on a UK around about a size 10-12. So it's quite generous, as I say, in its make. It's really quick to make up, and it takes between, dependent on your size, it takes from 1.5 meters up to 2.3 meters. With a little bit of Jenga, you know, you can get a little bit more out. The one piece that takes the most fabric is actually the necktie, because that is cut on the bias, and then it's just got little elasticated casings. So yeah, so that's my sage brush. Teams great with my colders, and I think the colders are going to be a real good wardrobe staple, with them being plain, with them being a classic navy. There's going to be lots of other tops that I can pair it with. So then on to my next makes. I had a fabulous first week. I managed to get the top done, cut the holders out, and I made my next top that I'm going to show you as well. Okay, so I'll just have a quick change and I'll be back. Okay, so this was my, I think this was my first make that I did. I can't remember the order, but it doesn't really matter, does it? So this is my Closet Core Kilo Top View B. Again, I've made quite a few of these and I love them. I have got a little bit of an obsession with the Kilo top and dress. I made this in the art gallery. It's Lady McElroy, and the name of the print is called Art Gallery, and it's their Mary Lawn. Unfortunately, we have completely sold out, but we do still have other ones. So it's a beautiful cotton lawn. Again, it has a little bit of structure, so that's why it just holds the shape of the sleeves really beautifully. And I actually made this over a couple of evenings. I was short of time. It was cut out, so one evening I just pinned together in a sort of like a 20-minute session. A following evening, about 20-minute session, I got sort of cuffs together. I then got the shoulders and the little yokes. So just sewing in small batches, it's surprising what you can actually get done. So I think it took me probably 3 evenings with 2 20 minutes and sort of a 45-minute sort of session, and it comes together really, really quickly. Now, the top itself, I lengthen about 2 inches because it is supposed to be quite a crop top, and it's great when you're wearing with high-waisted trousers or skirts, just so then you're not going to expose anything. But again, I just wanted that extra little bit of length through, so literally 2 inches is ample for myself. I'm wearing them with the Pietro Pants, which is also Closet Core, which is part of their Rome collection, and these are one of my most favourite pair of trousers. And again, it's very, very similar to the Barranquilla. This was the Barbados. It's slightly, I'd say it's just slightly heavier, but that has completely gone. Even the supplier no longer supplies, hence we've got moved on to the Barranquilla, and we've got lots of colours in. So this mustard colour, sort of mustardy ochre, I can't wear by my face, but I love it, so that's where I go, that it goes below. And again, it sort of like picks out the colours of the top, and I know this top is going to be really useful. It's going to go with my navy blue palazzos. When I actually get around to my Sasha Pants, I've actually teamed it with a blue in there. There's the little burgundy as well that I could wear, pick that out with. I think I've got a burgundy little pinafore, which would work quite nicely. So yeah, so I would highly recommend the Kilo. Equally, it's got this beautiful little box top as well, so it's a really lovely little plain top that's so useful. And then again, the really lovely tunic dress. Again, that one I tend to lengthen. If you are lengthening, one little tip, if you are lengthening that dress, I would recommend that you lengthen it sort of a little bit lower down than where the lengthen and shorten lines are, because they are above the pockets. And so I lengthened it probably about 3 inches, which then meant that my pockets ended up sort of disproportional on my thighs, and I couldn't reach the bottom of them. So yeah, I would actually lengthen and shorten below the pocket areas. Just check out where that pocket piece is going to go. It was fine sort of just on that hip area, but much lower, and it just looks a little bit peculiar on those. So yeah, hopefully there's nothing else I can say about the Kilo apart from it's absolutely fantastic. No alterations apart from the lengthening. I generally make a size 10-12 in the top and the dress. As recently I've graded out to a 14 on the hip area, but as I say, around the top and the shoulder, I think I've got a 10 around the shoulder, and I then grade out to the 12 through the bust area, but it's actually ample. So yeah, hopefully you like that one. Next up is a dress. Fabulous dress, and it's really quick, so I'll have another quick change and I'll be back for that one. Here we go then. So my last and final make, this is the Aster jersey dress from Wardrobe by Me. Now I wanted to have it go at this one because it's a new pattern company that we've had in at the studio, so I wanted to sort of have a little test and see how they're going. And yeah, I was more than pleasantly surprised with it. So with this, it's a boat neck style. You've also got, for the winter, a roll neck, so I'll probably get one of those done later in the year. You have the option of these pockets that are on the front, so they just have a simple facing, top stitched and then top stitched on. So I didn't pattern match, but I don't think it sort of detracts too much on those. The pattern has that you cut the skirt separately, but because I was using such a big print, I didn't really want to, one, pattern match further, and then two, distort the pattern. So I literally cut the front and the back, which is the same pattern piece, on the fold. I did a straight 14. The sleeves, it doesn't show on the pattern, but the actual sleeve pattern piece actually gives you with a short sleeve, a 3/4 sleeve, and the full sleeve. So I went with the little sleeve because on the pattern piece it shows that you can have it sleeveless and there is a band that you can put around. But I just like fancied a nice little short sleeve, and that's what I was planning until I actually got the pattern out. And I was like, well, hey, they've even got the markings in for that to cut. The only other alteration I did, well, I didn't do any alterations, the only one alteration I did was I actually brought the boat neck in slightly on a cut and slash method, so I will show you that. Okay, the Aster dress then. So this is the pattern piece for the front and the back of the Aster dress. So say I felt that the actual neck opening on the boat neck was rather quite wide, and the actual shoulder piece that it was allowing would be really quite close, and you potentially could see your bra strap or just the edge of it, and I didn't want to be too conscious of that. So what I did, so I've just drawn the top little part of this area and I've just highlighted it. Just let's slide it into place. So as you can see, as I say, that's just the actual shoulder area. This little jut out, once you actually connect through, so you'd stitch along 1 centimetre and in, then this facing gets flipped over, so it really isn't too much. So I just wanted to bring it in about an inch, I felt, really. So what I've then done is taken a rule, keeping my centre front line, drew a new line going down that it just passed over, so I'm keeping it parallel to my centre line, so it just went past that facing area. I then connected, keeping it all in line. Okay, so it'll look like it goes up, but because the facing is shaped through there, we then simply cut that boxed area out. Place that back onto, okay, make sure I've got the right line through there. Okay, I think I've got the right one. Just come down, there we go. Oh, yeah, I'm out on that bit, so there we go, that's my line through there. So once this is anchored, and then I slid this out, as I say, I felt an inch, 2.5 centimetres was ample. I was going to bring that in, strapped, sellotape that down, and then reconnect that line through, and it will keep the same trajectory then and repeat on the back, and that way it will shorten the length in. The pattern itself is made for a 5'7" or 8" person, so that was absolutely perfect for me, even though I'm 5'9", 5'10". I did add length onto the skirt, and then when I tried it I was like, nah, it doesn't need it, so I removed those 2 inches and I got a nice 1¼ inch hem onto that, and it just comes to my knee. So if you are a little bit shorter than the 5'7", 8", just bear that in mind. It's nice and roomy, it's not too snug. I did kind of consider I could go down to a 12 if I wanted to, but I actually feel that it really is quite roomy and nice. This is a Gots sweat, it's not sweatshirting, it's a soft Gots jersey, cotton jersey, so it's really, really cool, really soft, so I was really pleased with, really, so there's a lot of reallys in that. So yeah, I was very pleased with the way that it's washed up and goes. So yeah, I'm so chuffed with that one, so I'm definitely going to plan another wardrobe by me pattern probably for August, so I can test that pattern out. So measurement wise is, so they go from a 0 up to a size 24. So body measurements, bust size 30 up to a 48, so it's a good size range again. As I say, I did a straight 12, which was a 39 bust, and the finished garment measurements was actually, which is unusual for a jersey, was 1 inch above. Okay, so it wasn't negative ease. And yeah, so let me know what you can think, guys. So those are my makes for July. I do apologise that I didn't get the sashes done, but you know, life takes over and it's supposed to be a process. We're supposed to enjoy our sewing and not feel under pressure. So yeah, we're going to take a little bit of time out in August, and I'm planning to definitely get those on the show on the road with those. And even if I get just the sashes done for August, I think I'd be really pleased. So yeah, have yourselves a fabulous week, month, whenever I see you again. If you like it, if you had any hints and tips along the way, give us a thumbs up, guys. and don't forget to subscribe if you wish to. Okay, take care, stay safe, see you soon, bye now.